So death has been destroying our lives for years. Amen. And death spoils everything. Death spoils everything. My son, David, just passed away. It spoils everything. You ask me, am I sad? If you had a son who died, would you be sad? You should ask yourself that question. It spoils everything. It brings a feeling, a funny environment, and it makes nonsense of everything. We always try to wish it further and further away, but that's how it is, And so God has promised us that there would be a resurrection, like an overcoming of the greatest problem that has been introduced to human beings, which is death, that you have to die. You have to leave everything you are doing and go out of this world. No matter how good you are. I was surprised to read that Paul was only about 58 years old when he died. Apostle Paul. Oh, yes. Yes. And he went out. So it's like, one time I was in the UK and somebody took me to a golf course and told me this is where James Bond plays. Do you know James Bond? Roger Moore. Yeah, he said, this is where Roger Moore plays golf. I said, wow. So we were walking around. It's two huge golf courses joined together. So I said, who owns this place? He said, it's a Japanese man, one man. Can you imagine the land in the UK? Two huge golf courses. And I realized that even if this Japanese man wants to hold one of the trees in the golf course and say, I will not go, he will go. And it will make nonsense of everything he has. Are you with me? Yes. That's what death does. You can acquire and heap up. But at a point, even the things you've heaped up start to fight you. I remember my father-in-law, before he died, one of the things he said, it's not good to have too many houses. I was surprised to hear him say that. But he's an experienced man with a lot of houses. So, death comes to spoil like all your education, your family. It's a very severe punishment. Apart from the punishment of the work, like now you suffer to work. Then after that too, you will also die. It's a wild neutralizer. How many agree with me that death is a wild neutralizer of our happiness and of our existence? And even if you've not been sentenced to death, and even if you don't have a disease, which you know of which I am going to die, do you see? You are still sentenced to death. One day, I was watching a documentary about a man who was sentenced to death and was about to be executed. In fact, he was executed. So the priest went in with him and spoke with him for they had the last meal and all that. And so when he came out, they asked him two questions. Did the man admit the thing that they said he did? They said no, he said he did not admit it. He said he didn't do it. And then, so they asked him, what did you tell him before he died? He told the man that, look, you have been sentenced to death. And he said that the rest of us have also been sentenced to death, only that we don't know the date. That's also what he told the man. And it's true. We are all under that sentence. Every day we wake up, we are one day nearer the day that sentence will be executed. So when Jesus came to this world, all right, he said I am the resurrection and the life. Wow. Jesus is the resurrection. I am the resurrection and the life. I am resurrection. He that believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Wow. So Jesus promised that he was the resurrection. And that is the difference between a believer and a non-believer, is our faith in the resurrection. That's what makes the difference. Now, it makes a difference in two ways. It makes a difference at the funeral. You know, one time I was actually involved in the funeral of somebody who didn't believe in God. So I had to speak, because it was like an important person's, what do you call it? But the person didn't believe in God, and the family also didn't believe in God. I tell you, I was out of words. Can you imagine me out of what to say? Do you know what I did? I checked the internet. What do you say at a funeral when somebody doesn't believe in God? I googled it and I saw something. What should I say? Because they don't believe all these things you are saying. And apparently the priests in England are always officiating funerals of people who don't believe in God. Because even though they don't believe in God, when they die, they call the priest. So it's a common thing to officiate funerals of people who don't believe in God. So what do you say? Because when you say, I'm the resurrection, also, what is all this? Is now? When you are dead like a dog. Your meat is just nothing. That is all they believe. But we believe that we shall rise again. Amen. Jesus was asking Martha, do you believe he will rise again in the resurrection? Amen.